guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I am going to show you how to get the Buck Antler Trinket in both story and online. And what this trinket does is it helps you to get higher quality pelts or a better chance of getting perfect pelts. Now, if you search online, there's a lot of discussion, disagreement, and controversy as to exactly how this trinket accomplishes that. If you look at the fence in story when you're getting the Buck Antler Trinket, it says player has a higher chance of receiving perfect quality animal parts. If you read in the official guide for Red Dead, so I have the book here, and so just reading straight out of it, it says you receive higher quality parts when skinning animals. So it's been suggested that this trinket does a couple things, or what it might do is, one, help you encounter more 3-star quality animals out in the world. So that's a possibility. The other thing that people have suggested it does is that when you have a 3-star animal, you still need to use the correct gun or weapon for that animal. So, you know, when you look at it or you observe an animal and you get the information for it, it tells you what you need to use, whether that's a rifle or a repeater or a small game arrow. So you still need to use the same weapon, but it's been suggested that if you go for the perfect headshot and you're slightly off, that it will still help to preserve that 3-star quality for you instead of dropping it down to a 2-star. And then finally, the last thing that's been suggested is that if you have an animal that you have gotten a clean shot on that maybe was a 2-star, or maybe it was a 3-star, but it dropped to a 2-star because you didn't get that perfect shot, that when you skin the animal, you'll still get a 3-star. So all of these are possibilities. I'm not going to try to even say exactly what it is because it could honestly be anything. I'm not sure exactly what Rockstar intended. They weren't super clear, and that kind of happens a lot in the game. But I definitely recommend getting it in both story and online because it can't hurt. I always have them on my characters, and I don't typically have any trouble getting perfect quality animals. So in story, especially when you're going for all those satchels at the beginning, it can be really helpful when you're going for, you're needing perfect quality pelts for certain clothes that you're getting at the trapper. So definitely get them because, again, it can't hurt no matter what it's doing to help you get perfect quality animals. It's only going to help you. It can't hurt you in any way. So we're going to start off with story, and I'm going to show you exactly how to get this. So let's get into it. Okay, first let me say I tried to get footage when it wasn't raining and the game said absolutely not. I slept 3 separate times and I woke up, it was sunny, and as I was riding toward the legendary animal area, it started raining again. So this is what we have to work with. So first of all, for story mode, you have to be in chapter 2 in order to get the Buck Antler Trinket, and you have to have completed a mission with Hosea that I recommend doing right away when you get to the chapter 2 camp because it gives you access to the stable, and that is going to be exit pursued by a bruised ego. Again, that's a mission with Hosea because at the end of that mission, you are going to get a legendary animal map and you're going to be able to access the legendary animals at that time. So if you open up your map and you look for the buck, you're going to see that it is off toward the left-hand side above Owengila over in the Blackbone Forest area. So for any of the legendary animals, when you get to the area, you just want to ride around until you find the white question mark. Every once in a while when you go there, you'll get a message that says like there's too much going on, and so the legendary animal is not going to spawn. If that happens, you just need to ride away and sleep for a little bit and come back. There was either an event going on or something that was happening. But usually when you ride into the area, you're going to get a message that says you've entered legendary animal territory, and you know that at that point the white question mark is going to pop up, and that is kind of your starting point. From there, it's super easy. You just are going to go to the question mark. You're going to track the animal from there. There's going to lead to several different spots, and then eventually the legendary animal will spawn in after you've done that. So you're going to go ahead and do that. You do not need to get the perfect shot on a legendary animal. It's not going to drop the pelt quality down at all. The pelt quality is the pelt quality for legendary animals. So you can use a shotgun. You can use whatever you want. It's much easier to kill legendary animals in story than it is online because you do still have auto aim and it only takes a couple shots. So go ahead and get the legendary buck. go ahead and skin it. Now keep that pelt because you're going to want to take that pelt to the trapper because there's clothes that you can get using that. But what we're using is the antlers from the legendary animal. So from there, you're going to go to the fence. Now I have not done the second mission with Hosea over at Emerald Ranch, so I don't think I have access to the fence there yet. So I went down to Rhodes and I do have access, so I didn't need to do that mission. But you're going to go down to Rhodes, you're going to go to the fence. Now you're not going to sell him anything, it's just in your inventory. So you're going to look for the Buck Antler Trinket, and from there you'll be able to craft it. Okay, just a couple quick things because I realized I didn't really zoom out of the map where I was for the legendary animal. So I just want to show you here real quick on a Red Dead 2 interactive map that you can find online. And I'm just going to zoom out here so you can see exactly where the legendary buck is. Now, the closest fast travel is going to be Strawberry. From there, you're going to head out toward Owangila and go just north of that. This is called Blackbone Forest. If you've been there before, it'll pop up on your map as well, but it's going to be right in that area. And then you have several different fences that you can go to as well. I went to the one right here in Rhodes, so you can see the location for that one. You could also go down to Saint Denis, but if you're early on in chapter 2, you haven't unlocked a lot of this. You don't have fast travel unlocked for this. So Rhodes was the easiest one because I hadn't done that mission to unlock the one up at Emerald. Okay, moving on to Red Dead Online, we're going to visit Gus for the trinket. Now, this does mean you don't have to have purchased the naturalist role, but you at least need to have done the cutscene in Strawberry with Harriet and Gus in order to have access to him. So I went to Saint Denis because it was just nice and easy so I could show you what you need to be able to get the Buck Antler Trinket. Now, this is not something you're going to be able to do when you first start because it is quite expensive. Everything is more expensive online. And it's $775. You also need to have a pair of antlers, so that's no big deal. You just have to skin a buck. And then you also need the Dane Topaz necklace. So the first and easiest thing to make this trinket is just to get a pair of antlers. So just travel to whatever location it works best for you for deer. I just traveled right up to Emerald Station. I found a buck right there close by. That area is really great. The Great Plains area is a really good spot. So just make sure you find a buck. So not a doe, not a regular deer. You're going to find a buck and then you're going to skin it. I don't think the pelt quality matters at all. You're just skinning it to get those antlers. You're going to keep them in your inventory until you go back down to Gus. Now, if you go to craft the trinket and the antlers, you'll notice will still say 0. You actually have to sell him the antlers first. So this is a little bit different from the fence where it'll just pick up what's in your inventory and you can craft the item. For Gus and even the trapper in story mode, you actually have to sell him the item first, and then you'll be able to craft whatever you're trying to craft. So hold on to those antlers. When we go back down to Gus, we'll make sure we sell first so that we can craft. Okay, the second item we need is a little bit trickier just because it's not always a static spawn on the map. So I'm going to recommend that you use an outside resource called the Gene Ropke map. If you've never heard us talk about that before, I will link it in the description below. But basically it just shows where all the collectibles are on the map for every cycle. Now, the jewelry do go on random spawns. So when you go to get this trinket, it might be on a random spawn that day, which means you can't guarantee that you're going to get it. And you would need to have the collector roll to be able to dig up and use the metal detector for those random jewelry spots. However, if you don't have the collector roll, that is okay. You can wait for this to go on a static spawn, and the one I'm showing you here on the map is south of Tumbleweed, and it's actually in a chimney. So you'll be able to just walk up and reach into the chimney and grab it. You don't need any special collector items. But you can very easily on the map just filter out what you're looking for so you don't have a lot of clutter on there, and just wait. Again, if it's a random spawn when you go to get it, just wait a couple days. Like check every day that the cycle changes just to see when it goes on that static spawn. Okay, now that you have your 2 items, you're going to head back to Gus. I already saw Gus and sold him the antlers earlier in this clip, but if not, you're going to sell them to him as soon as you get to him. I had to make a quick detour and sell a collection real quick because I actually didn't have enough money. It's so expensive online, but you're just going to go back to Gus. You're going to make sure, again, you sell him those antlers. At this point, you'll see 1 for antlers and then however many Dane Topaz you have if it's just the 1. And you'll be able to craft and get the item from there. Okay, so that's all there is to it. It's not too difficult to get that Buck Antler Trinket, either story or online. Online takes a little bit extra work and a little bit extra money, whereas story, it's pretty cheap and you just need that legendary animal. But hopefully you don't have too much trouble. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. I'm happy to answer. I know sometimes I go through things kind of quick. I try to show you on the map or just slow down and give as much detail as possible. But if something was unclear or you're just not really sure how to get it still, leave a comment below. I'll make sure that I answer it as quickly as I can. If you found this video helpful, I'd appreciate it if you'd leave it a like. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.